They thought I wouldn't find out. They thought I'd keep sending money because Mom couldn't walk. But the night I opened that video, my mother dancing in Los Cabos with a margarita in her hand, something inside me snapped loud enough to echo. My name is Camila Reyes, 29 years old, the responsible one of the family. The daughter who works double shifts, who keeps every receipt, who sends money without being asked twice. I'm the daughter they assumed would stay quiet forever. 3 months ago, my sister called me at 2 a.m., crying hysterically, telling me Mom's arthritis had spread to her spine, that she needed urgent treatments. The hospital bill, 280,000 pesos. I didn't even hesitate. I wired the money before the sun rose. But tonight, the truth hit harder than any betrayal I've ever imagined. A coworker on vacation in Los Cabos sent me a casual video of a beach party. People dancing under golden lights, music shaking the air, and in the center of the crowd, my entire family, laughing, drinking, celebrating, and my mother, miraculously cured, moving like nothing had ever been wrong. I didn't cry. I didn't scream. I just whispered, "So that's how you want to play this?" Because they had no idea. I already had a plan forming. I spent the next morning replaying every lie they'd fed me. 3 months earlier, Mama had supposedly collapsed in the kitchen. My brother Mateo sent me a blurry photo of her lying on the couch, wrapped dramatically in blankets. My sister Alejandra sent voice notes crying, saying, "Cammy, we can't lose her, please. You're the only one who can help." I didn't question anything. I just transferred the money. Then came the updates. Mama couldn't lift her arms. She needed injections twice a week. She couldn't even go outside. And each time, they guilt-tripped me with the same line. "You have a good job. You should help us." So I did. I cut back on groceries, sold my old jewelry, postponed my rent payment. They never asked how I was surviving. I guess they didn't care. Or maybe they assumed I'd just endure quietly like always. But the pressure didn't stop there. While I was drowning financially, my siblings kept sending photos of expensive dinners. Old pictures, they claimed. Gifts for each other, discounted, they said. Every time I hinted at visiting, they panicked and told me Mama was too fragile for guests. And like a fool, I trusted them. Until the Los Cabos video exposed everything. Now, staring at the screen, my hands cold, heart silent, I realized something horrifying. This wasn't an accident. It was a plan. And I wasn't done uncovering it. The more I dug, the uglier it got. That same night, still shaking with a cold kind of fury, I opened Facebook and typed my mother's name. Her profile, usually quiet, was suddenly full of tagged photos. Not from her account, but from my cousins, my aunts, even Mateo's friends. A boat party, a spa day, a sunset dinner with champagne towers. And in every photo, Mama looked radiant, younger, glowing, definitely not a woman battling severe arthritis. My chest tightened as I opened the comments. One of my cousins wrote, "Los Reyes finally living like royalty." And my sister Alejandra replied with laughing emojis. "Shouldn't let Cammy see this face with tears of joy, face with tears of joy. She still thinks Mom can't walk." There it was. Proof they weren't just lying to me. They were mocking me. Behind my back. Publicly. I felt the bruise of humiliation spread under my ribs. But humiliation has a strange effect on me. It doesn't make me crumble. It makes me focus. So I kept reading. More comments. More inside jokes. More laughter about how easy it was to convince me, how dramatic they'd sounded on the phone, how generously the money rolled in. My hands trembled, but not from sadness. From clarity. They had played me. Every one of them. And they had no idea what I had just discovered next. I didn't breathe for a full 10 seconds as I opened the last video in the album. It was filmed at a long dinner table overlooking the ocean. Golden hour lighting, live violin, waiters in white gloves. A celebration. My family's celebration. At first, it looked harmless. Margaritas, seafood platters, everyone laughing. Then the camera panned and I saw it. A cake. White frosting. gold lettering on top that read, "To Mom's Miracle Recovery, Los Cabos 2026. My stomach curled. The camera zoomed in, and there was Mama, my mother, the woman I had imagined bedridden, lifting her glass high and saying, "To our little investor, Camila. May she never find out." The table exploded with laughter. My brother Mateo added, "She actually believed the arthritis story, bro. We should have asked for more." More laughter. Louder. Cruel. Easy. And then my sister, my own blood, leaned toward the camera, smug and wine-blushed, and said, "If she were smarter, she would have asked for proof. But hey, dumb people make the world easier." Everyone clapped. My ears rang, my vision sharpened, and for a moment I couldn't tell if my heart was beating or breaking. Maybe both. That was the moment something inside me died. And something colder was born. Because they had no idea. I wasn't just hurt. I was watching everything from someone else's phone. Someone who owed me a favor. For the first time in my life, I felt nothing. No tears. No shaking. Just a quiet, icy stillness spreading through my veins like a slow poison. I sat on the edge of my bed, replaying their laughter, their toasts, their smug faces. The pain was sharp at first, sharp enough to slice through bone, but then it softened into something useful. My coworker, Daniela, the one vacationing in Los Cabos, knocked gently on my door earlier that day and said, "Cammy, your family is partying here. It didn't feel right not telling you." She gave me every photo, every video, every timestamp. Because last year, I helped her when her landlord tried to illegally evict her. She hadn't forgotten. And now, neither would I. I inhaled slowly, the calm settling. They thought I was naive. They thought money made me blind. They thought love made me stupid. And that was their biggest mistake. I opened my laptop, created a new folder titled Reyes Evidence, and began collecting every screenshot, every voice note, every fake update they'd sent me. The folder grew fast, lies layered on lies. Then I drafted something simple, elegant, and devastating. A dinner invitation for the whole family. They wanted a celebration? Good. Because at that dinner, I would burn their entire scheme to the ground. And they would never see it coming. I booked a private room at El Faro Azul, the most expensive restaurant in the city. White linen tables, chandeliers dripping like frozen rain, and a panoramic ocean view. Exactly the kind of place my family adored, pretending they belonged in. 3 days later, they walked in laughing, sun-kissed from their luxurious medical recovery trip. Mama hugged me dramatically, placing a hand on her lower back as if she were still injured. I almost laughed. I waited until dessert, my hand steady, my heartbeat calm. A waiter dimmed the lights as I stood slowly, tapping my glass. "Before we eat," I said softly, "I made something for you all." The projector hummed on. The first image appeared. Mama dancing on the beach. Then, Mateo doing tequila shots. Then, Alejandra at a spa, captioned, "Cammy would die if she knew face with tears of joy." Their smiles cracked instantly. I kept my voice gentle, almost comforting. "These were taken during the days you told me Mom couldn't walk. When you said she needed injections. When you begged for 280,000 pesos. Alejandra whispered, "Cammy, turn it off." I didn't. The next clip rolled. Mama's toast. "To our little investor, may she never find out." The entire room went silent. A suffocating, perfect silence. I looked at them, calm and composed. "You lied. You stole from me. And tonight, you're going to pay it back." The waiter placed thick envelopes on the table. That's when their panic truly began. Mateo was the first to snap. He shoved his chair back, voice cracking. "You can't just accuse us like this. We're family." I tilted my head. Family doesn't steal. Family doesn't laugh while I starve myself to pay their lies. Alejandra grabbed one of the envelopes with shaking hands. Inside was a printed breakdown, every transaction, every lie, every date, every screenshot. Her face drained of color. "Cammy, please, this will ruin us." "It already has," I replied quietly. Mama tried to stand up and pretend to wobble. Pathetic, really. Me hija. I only did what I had to, my condition. Your condition? I clicked the remote. The screen froze on her dancing barefoot on the sand. Her mouth snapped shut. I leaned forward. You have 30 days to return every peso. Or I take all of this. I gestured to the evidence, to the police, the bank, and the family group chat. All of them. A strangled gasp escaped Mateo. You wouldn't. I would. I already spoke to a lawyer. They stared at me as if seeing me for the first time, not the naive daughter, not the gullible sister, but someone they should have never crossed. The waiter cleared his throat softly. Señorita, should I bring the final item? I nodded, because the real surprise hadn't even begun. The waiter returned carrying a slim black folder, elegant, official-looking. He placed it in front of me, and I slid it across the table toward my mother. Mama frowned. What is this? I folded my hands. A financial guardianship transfer. Their jaws collectively dropped. I continued calmly. Since you all claimed Mom was too sick to manage anything, including walking, thinking, or even lifting her arms, I filed for temporary financial oversight. The court granted it based on your own statements, texts, and voice notes. Alejandra's eyes widened in horror. Mateo whispered, No, 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 Cammy, you can't. I already did, I said. Inside the folder was the ruling. All family bank accounts tied to the original medical emergency fund were frozen. Every peso they stole was now legally obligated to be returned directly to me, with penalties. And the best part? That luxury Los Cabos trip was traced back to the fraudulently obtained money. They would be paying that back too. Mama's voice cracked. So you're taking our money? I met her eyes, steady and unblinking.
No.
I'm taking back my dignity. The money is just a bonus. Silence spread across the table like a confession. I stood, smoothing my dress. Next time you want a vacation, earn it. As I walked away, I heard Mateo whisper, defeated, We shouldn't have messed with her.
He was right.
They built their scheme on the belief that I was weak. Instead, I became the storm that drowned it.